What's up guys, it's your boy ATHLIT back here with another video. In today's video we're going to talk about how to get fit. So there are two basic things that you need to know. One, calorie deficit. Two, exercise. That's it. But talking about calorie deficit. Calorie deficit and exercise. That's it. I'm gonna expand further on the calorie deficit part. First thing, you need to have more protein. And as I said, when you have more protein, you feel less hungry, okay? So then eventually you have less carbs and junk food, mainly carbs, less calories. The other thing is more vitamins and minerals. This basic equation, you're gonna have less hunger. Sometimes I used to eat a lot of food and I still feel hungry about an hour later. Now I'm having multivitamins, fruits and protein. I don't feel hungry in an hour. I can go for hours and hours, maybe half the day. I actually do intermittent fasting. I have breakfast, I have dinner, that's it. So I go through the whole day, and my breakfast is almost at 7 a.m. and my dinner is around 1 a.m. I gotta fix that, I know, but this is basically how it is. And you end up having less carbs and less junk again. So this means more nutrients and less calories. That's the pretty simple equation I use for most of my clients coming for personal training. Now let me expand further on exercise. What kind of exercises do you like? That's basically it. Cardio is important. I used to lift a lot of weights. I was massive, very big guy, but never got a physique that I truly desired, even though the weights I was lifting were insane. Cardio is super important for that. I hit the staircase machine, I hit whatever, anything that has to do with cardio. It could be little things like 10K, 15K. This is my goal, minimum baseline. I gotta hit 10K steps every day, no matter what. Okay, this is something to start with. One, it improves, you'll actually see a difference. When you wake up, you'll feel more energy. You'll feel like you can walk more. Not when you do the 10K steps though for the first time, it's gonna burn you out. And then you keep climbing, 20K once a week. I try to hit once. Actually, as a personal trainer, I do 20K steps at least 3 times a week, and the rest minimum baseline 10K. This has improved my physique and improved my breathing, and the most fat burning happens through breathing. So the more you breathe, the more fat you burn. Cardio is one, and then resistance. This is what I love. I love resistance training. That means lifting heavy ass weights, heavy ass weight. And not only do you have to lift heavy ass weights, when you can't lift heavy ass weights, you go on another day. Don't quit. Do something else. Lift heavy ass weight for another body part, or lift medium weights. You gotta break your ego. Okay, I learned that the hard way. Even though you can't hit your max, drop the weight a bit and go. Keep going at it. Other thing is progressive overload. So overload with your weights. That is one of the most key things that you need to know. But more importantly, talking about our diet. Now that you know how to exercise somewhat, we're gonna know what to do about your diet. How can you get your protein up? You have millions of things, eggs, spam eggs, chicken, turkey, pork, beef, whatever. Keep eating this. You could have this unlimited, this unlimited. Eggs, I would say limit at 8. There is a lot of stuff in it, cholesterol. Cholesterol, they say it's bad for health, but honestly, the hormone production and everything gets balanced with more cholesterol. Cholesterol is one of the key building, I would say, it's one of the most helpful natural steroid that your body produces for each and every cell. Yes, cholesterol is a steroid. Sterols and all that, that's how it's known. And then for veg, what do you have for veg? Dal, have dal, that's lentils. Have beans, rice. Nope. I know what you're gonna say. Oh, we can control our portions. You cannot, unless you're a pro bodybuilder and who already has a physique. There's no way you're controlling your rice portion. You start eating rice, you're gonna eat more and more rice. Start eating roti, you're gonna eat 10, 15 roti. Stop it. Just cut it out until you learn self-control. Wipe this off the board. Have oats. Have barley. There's a lot of stuff. In the US. There's a bunch of stuff. Oats. You can have tortillas. For those who are not Mexican. Because if you're not Mexican, you have tortillas. You're gonna have like 1 or 2 tortillas. You're gonna make a taco, fill it up with protein. That's it. But if you're Mexican, you're gonna have way more, right? Same thing works with if you're any other ancestry, and then you have a certain type of food. Curries are one thing you also need to avoid. Curry, avoid. Has a lot of oil. Okay, unless you're making yourself, you're putting a little bit of olive oil. It's mostly water, spices, and the chicken or the protein itself. Avoid curries. That's basically it. And then there is also soya, and then obviously whey protein, one of the most important things. If you don't have whey protein, I don't know what you're having. If you can't digest whey protein, get more, something that's been researched and a little bit more expensive, have that. But this is your chart, this is all you need to know, and good luck out there. With cardio, again, steps is one way. You get staircase, stairmaster, and treadmill. Do that. Do it every day. And now, obviously, I can go in depth in more. Those are my other videos. You can see it. But this is just something I wanted to break it down for you. Alright, peace out. Next video.